Beloveds, hello. Sheea here from Maui, and I have been really excited to come on. It's taken me a few days because there's been so much going on and magic carpet rides, and here I am finally squeezing in one before I go off to my next thing. Um, so, I did an amazing thing this weekend for the first time ever. I did what you call a double medicine journey. So it was the whole weekend. We did a medicine on Friday night and one on Saturday night. I've never done a double like that before, and I can just say that it is life-changing. I feel different. My life is already different, and I'm really harvesting a lot of yum from it that is, I feel like I'm finally really understanding how to beat the matrix because it's all in here, and really catching myself when I start going down a thought pattern that doesn't serve me, and hallelujah. So I wanted to share about that experience because if you've never done that before or don't have access to it, you can kind of vicariously live through my experience, and I'm going to share some of the concepts that are kind of like universal truths. So, they help us ascend and evolve. um, let's see. MDMA was the first one, the Friday night, and that one is known for being one of the best for healing trauma, for creating bonding if you're with someone like a partner, and healing through any issues that you're having a hard time getting through. Of course, this was a group medicine journey, so this was my first time doing it where we wear a mask so that we can just focus and go within, which was amazing. I've never done it that way before. But boy, it allows you to focus and really do your work. And the eye masks that they provided are such that you can open your eyes inside the mask because it has space and like holes right there. So you can see, the sacred geometry and all that, and have your eyes open or closed. And I was kind of like, that doesn't sound as fun as interacting like I'm used to. Or a combination. I was used to a combination of interacting, but also, having my own time as well, but like more in a nature setting. But it is interesting how when you wear a mask and just go deep within, you're able to go deep and really get to your stuff. So that MDMA one was one of my favorite ones ever. I was so happy. And it has the ability, where I was able to look at my mom issues and my dad issues and other things. And you have so much love in that space that you're able to look at it with new eyes and just go, oh, like it's not triggering you or anything. I was able to see what my next step is and what I need to do to help things along because they're a little bit stuck right now. And one of my main messages coming away, one of the themes was how unexpressed I was because, like a lot of families, I didn't have good role models. It's just not even in the culture yet very well as far as good communication skills. Now, I have since learned them, but there is all this backlog for when I hadn't learned the communication skills yet, where there was a lot of stuff that was just unexpressed. So when it's unexpressed, it ends up being in your body and being held in your cells, because it hasn't found its way out yet. So a lot of times I personally find that when I do voice myself, I'm complete. Like I just need to say it, whether anything gets done about it or not. I just need to voice it, and then it's like it has its expression, and it's out of my body, at that point. So I'm not, holding it in any way. So What else can I say about that particular journey? I remember having so much gratitude for like the key people in my life right now. These particular facilitators it was a male and a female friend doing it together. And boy, I was really pleased. Their consciousness was kind of a little bit, higher than I had experienced before, and on group journeys. And so it was just, yeah, very high vibration. And I think it's really important to get in tune with that amount of joy and remember what that feels like. I was just so lit up. I mean, I still am. I'm not on anything, but I'm still just so lit up from within because it's just been one amazing thing after the other. And I'm going to go more into depth, but that was kind of like a highlight. So then the second night, and then we have, these circle times where we get to share and kind of like harvest it together and learn from each other's messages that they got and what they did and all that. And so, we did that the next morning mainly, several rounds of that in circle. And there was about a dozen of us. And then the second night we did psilocybin, which is from mushrooms. And mushrooms are known for being able to rewire your brain and your neural pathways, because a big part of breaking out of the matrix is being able to master your thought life. And when you do that, then your behavior and your feelings follow suit. So you're in a much better place when you're thinking positive and putting your energy into what you do want to create in your life as the creator of your life, as the designer, the author of your life, instead of feeling like a victim to life or a defaulting to whatever life shows up for you, the way however it's showing up for you, and you're not necessarily thrilled with it. It's because you got to take charge of your thoughts and start invoking what it is you want and choose. And I will say one thing that has really helped me do this is by listening to affirmations on YouTube, because there's many channels that have affirmations one after the other that you just listen to, and you're just, you just get elevated so much from hearing such positivity. And there's also guided meditations that do the same thing. And so anyway, mushrooms are amazing. First of all, I like the fact that it's completely, it's a plant medicine that's pure and natural. It's not created in a lab or anything. It's not synthetic. So it's the real deal. And they have a gift for helping you rewire yourself better in your brain activity, especially if that's been messed up through maybe too many drugs or, fake synthetic medications or whatever. So I literally was shown how it was helping me catch myself going down negative rabbit holes that I didn't want to go down. And I was like, oh, nope, not going there. Sometimes we have a default to go to the worst case scenario, start geeking out on it almost, and like then fear comes up and doubt and all this, and it's just like, what's the point of this? So I was able to catch myself over and over again going, oh, why am I going down that road of thought? No. And switching it over, to what I do want to create instead. And okay, so this particular journey, I really did not know what to expect, because to be honest with you, I've never done a journey with just one medicine in that way. So this was a newer experience for me. And so I really didn't know what to expect, but I do know that my first experience ever was with a mushroom, and I cried and cried and cried, and it wouldn't let me hold on to anything. And I just unloaded all kinds of yuck that needed to come out, sorrow, grief, anger. And then I laughed, you know, after the crying part of it. I had forgotten about that though. And so when I went in, I was actually having a bit of a challenge for the first time ever on a journey, because I had only gotten 2 hours sleep the night before from the previous journey, and I was just so lit up I couldn't really fall asleep for quite some time. And we start at sunset, and you know, so we're not ending until the early, you know, morning hours, like 2 or 3 or something like that. And then, you know, I can't really fall asleep after all that has occurred. So anyway, so I kind of took it as though, oh boy, this exhaustion, because I get really affected when I don't get all my sleep. And so I was like, wow, I think I'm not able to work with this as effectively as I normally would, because I usually dance with the consciousness of the plant in such a way that I'm just harvesting as much as I can, and you know, to help my life. And instead I felt like I was like a ping pong ball caught and trapped in this box, and I just wasn't getting anywhere, and I was really struggling. And so I was like, okay, I think I need to ask for help, because I'm not going to just suffer in silence here, because this is not fun, and this is like having a bad trip almost. So one thing about taking plant medicines is you do have to actively surrender to them. You can't just, well, let me just say it's an active version. I thought I was, but sometimes that kind of stuff will show up if you're not actually really just surrendering and trusting the medicine. Because sometimes it'll show you some yuck stuff, and if you're fighting it or resisting it, then it's not going to work as well. So I'm thinking now that I was resisting what was coming up, because it was kind of hard to look at. The first thing it showed me was, oh, Sheea, you're not really so, it's really hard for you to love yourself when you're not at your best. So if you haven't had your full sleep, it's harder for me to love myself in the past when I'm, you know, not on point, you know, or if I'm struggling or feeling a little depressed or whatever, it's harder to love myself. If I'm tired, whatever it is that's like not my best, it's harder for me to just accept myself and love myself through it, because I always like to be at my best for everybody's benefit. But they were showing me that, and I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. And then I was still struggling though, and I think I was fighting what was coming next, and so I needed assistance. So that's when I went and got the female facilitator and just said, you know, I'm just like hitting a wall here. And she tends to just know what to say at the right time. And I started to cry. And then I was noticing how much backlog of sadness and grief I had, as well as anger that was never expressed, never cried out, never even acknowledged at times. And I was like, yeah, I'm feeling that backlog. And it was there was so much of it, and it was, I guess, such a painful wound that I was like having a hard time breathing and crying, because it was just like, you know, like that kind of. And so, you know, I did the best I could, and I got definitely a layer off. But I also, you know, it was such a powerful, deep purging of that wanted to happen. And I was in a group setting, and I didn't want to affect other people around me too much. So I chose to hold back, because I also just didn't feel comfortable like really raging, and like I felt like I needed to cuss and yell and that kind of thing. But I just didn't feel comfortable doing that, you know, to affect everyone. So I breathed, I sounded a little bit. I punched the bed. I did what I could, but it was kind of weak, but at any rate, some of it started to come out, because that's what's nice, is the medicine allowed me to access that place that otherwise I think we would just avoid, and I obviously was avoiding it because it's not fun to look at it or feel it, especially that cumulative effect of it. So it brought me there, and it took a while to start getting that to flow out, but I did. It was interesting because at one moment I remember it's like the music stopped, because the music is a big part of a medicine journey. It's like makes love to you while you're going through this stuff, and it just stopped. Everything stopped. It was like time stopped, and everyone was aware of what I was going through, and it felt like the whole world was my witness, honestly. And so it was a little bit like, whoa. And I was like, oh shit, and then another part of me was like, you deserve that, like they're all holding space for you and it's your turn to heal, kind of thing. So it was kind of an interesting mix of embarrassment and yet feeling like it was a gift. And but it was just interesting the way that happened. It was like, whoa, okay, everyone's watching now. I can feel that even nature is like, oh, what's happening here? So that was a moment I had, I remember. And then it's funny, and then it was like this combination of me purging and trying to get this stuff out of my system, as well as like and also birthing the new me too, because there was a little bit of that came through, like this powerful, it's like I got dragon images, and then my totem is a white tiger, and that was coming through, and I remember growling and like kind of bringing that in, like that empowerment of, instead of feeling a victim or whatever to this stuff, that it's like, yeah, this is me now, and this is, and I've got this. And so anyway, this is the first download I'm giving you about that weekend, and I'm going to be talking about the concepts for a while in the succeeding series. If you are enjoying my channel, I would love if you feel led to do a donation to make this sustainable. I also have TantraTransformation.com, where I'm a Tantra professional. That's, also in the love field of relationships and communication skills and all the things related. Spirituality is a big part of my life, and I am creating a new session, actually, that's kind of fun, that incorporates like a lot more of the health and spa, pamper services and modalities to include, which is just kind of, like more of a theme session type thing. So I'm having fun putting together that theme session. It's something a little bit different, because my clients like to change things up sometimes, and try different upgrades, and then I also do journeying with the Tantra, which is super powerful because it really opens the heart, and we're able to go deeper and do more healing. And so anyway, bless you, and may your life be exactly how you always dreamed it would be.